Hi, I'm Isabelle Daigneault. I'm the president of the Alpine Club of Canada. The Mountain Guides Ball is truly a community gathering. It's a celebration of accomplishments really all around. Our guest of honor each year is we like to call the patron, is someone who's contributed tremendously to the mountain community. And it's also an occasion to celebrate the hard work of aspiring mountain guides who graduate from their program, and then we pay tribute to the intimate relationship that we have, the Alpine Club, with the Association of Canadian Mountain Guides. It's an annual gala event. Everyone comes dressed up, we clean up nicely, and we bring together the mountain community. So this annual Mountain Guides Ball that's organized by the Alpine Club of Canada and the Association of Canadian Mountain Guides is really meant to bring together the mountain community to celebrate our mountain culture, foster a greater sense of community, and also raise funds for a specific program, often with the Alpine Club of Canada. We run a silent auction with varied cultural elements that aims to raise dollars, and this year's fundraising initiatives will go to new facilities. The Guides Ball is the one annual event. In the early days of the Alpine Club, people gathered annually, and it was actually I believe in the Constitution, to host an annual dinner. And it's only in recent years, since Peter Furman's implication, that it's become a much more important gathering of the community, and it includes the Association of Canadian Mountain Guides. But the interesting thing of the Guides Ball is it gets its members together. It's really an occasion to clean up, laugh, celebrate volunteers and contributors to the greater community. And in terms of what it means to the mountain community, I think we'd say that it's become the flagship annual gathering of the Alpine Club. I'm truly grateful to Peter Furman and his partner in crime, Hans Moser, for creating this wonderful partnership between the Alpine Club of Canada and the Association of Canadian Mountain Guides for what's now known as the Mountain Guides Ball. This association and this great partnership was the beginning for this gathering to truly become a community event. And who knows, it has potential to have further reach. We're definitely grateful to Peter. Thank you, Peter.
Well, after I signed the lease for the land in Lake Louise to build the Alpine Center, it was obvious that we needed some money. And the first check for $10,000 actually came from the late Hans Moser, CMH. Hans and I actually did go to the head office of CP in Calgary. So we talked about this, and Hans Moser gave him a long story as to how this Alpine Center in Lake Louise would be operated, and by whom, and who would visit it, and so forth. And so Ivor basically came on and said, look, I like the idea. Usually, sometime a year, I put on a big ball at the chateau. What I could do is I could put this ball on for you, and Mona was the secretary. She would be looking after all of the operation and setting it up with the club also. I would bring in a live auctioneer, so we'd have a live auction. I would bring in a band to play mountain music from Calgary, and we'd advertise the thing. So while we're sitting there and talking about this whole ball, he said, you know, one thing is we need somebody who is the patron of that ball. And Bruno Engler at the time was previously one of the guides who worked for Petrock, guiding out of the chateau, and Bruno Engler was a mountain guide as well, member of the ACMG. Turned out to be was that we had Bruno Engler, an ACMG guide, Hans Moser, an ACMG guide, and me, an ACMG guide. So we had these three guides sitting together basically, except Bruno wasn't there. Ivor said, you know, with all of those guides around, why don't we call this whole thing a guides ball? And this is where the whole thing started. Really centered on all of these stories together, and the guides ball, the Lake Louise Center, my period as president, all of this runs into one thing. Favorite memory for me is Bro Engler, who was my dear friend. I worked with him, I did lots of movies with him, photographs, and climbed with him. And actually, you know, I was very, very sad to lose him. But he was also getting older, you know. I mean, I'm going to be 90 this month. And Bruno also passed away. So, but that's my favorite memory, really, the people who were the patrons of the Guides Ball. And